The Boeville and Newtown's episode number 17 for 2022. I'm Ray, and yes, I'm back at it again. What I'm hoping to do tonight is at least get started on some of the repairs for some of these buildings that we've been talking about over, I guess, the last couple of episodes. So I can actually start getting some scenery work done. Why do you need the buildings to be able to do the scenery work? Well, where Union Station is going to sit, for instance, I need to know exactly where that's going to be. I need that to be back in one piece so I can actually see the footprint and be able to get it placed correctly. Also, along with that, that building, along with the other buildings in downtown Boeville, will be illuminated at some point. And I've actually, the funny thing of it is everybody was kind of asking me how things went over this past weekend. Things went fine. I got my speech done, so on and so forth. And actually, the newlywed groom has a buddy of his that does electrical work. And he is going to come over here at some point and help me out. I don't know when that's going to be. He's kind of tied up at the moment. But I'm hoping maybe by the fall I will actually have electrical done on the actual railroad itself, so I can get rid of the extension cords that I've been using, so on and so forth, to actually be able to run trains. Because the next thing that's going to happen is after I get some of the scenery started, or some of the scenery work done, especially down in Boeville, I can start putting up my backdrop. Which is probably going to end up being masonite. I had started taking measurements at one point, and I think I lost the paperwork. Typical. So I'll have to go back and remeasure and get that all taken care of. But I think I am going to do masonite across all the backdrop. And what's going to be really interesting with Boeville is that there'll be a gap. Because there's, you've got the uprights that are going to hold it together. So there's going to be space between the one side and the other side, which is kind of nice because that's where I can feed the wiring down for what will have overhead electric in here, or overhead lighting in here, dual lighting, one for daytime, one for nighttime. So it'll be white during the day or something to that effect. And then probably, I'm thinking maybe some sort of, probably a blue light. But I'm nowhere near that yet. So, let's go ahead and swing over here a minute. And I should have done this from you know what? I'm going to stop the camera here for a minute, and we're going to swing over on my right side. This way I can at least see the viewfinder. Oy vey. Alright, let's see what we've got going on here. You know what? There. Oh no, I didn't. There it is. I was going to say I didn't bother bringing out the glue. That would have sucked. Alright, I got to figure out. Oh, I think I left. Did I leave this? I did. That's the reason why this thing came apart. Okay. If you're wondering what I'm talking about here, what I did is I actually left this somewhat removable. Now I understand why the upper part of this came apart. The reason being is the fact that I actually have lighting in here on both floors. Okay, that's the reason why this thing was done the way it was. Okay, alright, so I don't necessarily need to try and put this back together because, or at least put it together the way I was thinking, because if I do, I'm not going to be able to get it back apart to be able to replace the light bulbs. And I just noticed that I lost a window. These old kits were done rather uniquely. As you can see, they just kind of snap together for the most part. So I think what I'm going to have to do with this one thing I can see that's going to be a problem right off the bat is the fact that these corners don't line up very well, which means that there is going to be light bleed, and I'm not 100% certain there's anything I can really do about it except for maybe put something down the outside edge. But then again, that requires glue, and I don't necessarily want to be gluing this thing together. I may just have to deal with it. I may just have to maybe put that side towards the rear or something like that if I use this. I'm not even sure if I'm going to need it yet, but at any rate, alright, well, let's go ahead and I'll go to put this thing back together and we'll go from there. Where's my, there it is. Okay, well, I decided before I put it back together that I was going to try and paint the interior so that I would get rid of the that light bleed that I was talking about. And, well, unfortunately this paint is not brand new. It's rather old and, well, it's a little thin. So I'm probably going to have to put a second coat on. And I also noticed that, not thinking about it, when I went to do the corners, well, the one corner, it started to bleed through the corners. So I'm going to have to probably paint the building inside and out now. But that's okay. That's quite all right. So I'm going to move on to probably the next one, which will be a little bit easier at least, because this here was a little bit heavier in plastic. Just make sure I'm not sticking this someplace where I've got paint. And we're going to go ahead and try to re-glue the base on this. Provided, of course, that my glue decides it wants to work again. Alright, that takes care of that. Now I just need to put the door back on. Preferably without throwing it on the floor first. That's always helpful. Do. come on. There we go. Sheesh. Just noticed that this is loose. There we go. Alright, well, that's that taken care of. As the camera hits, or the chair hits the camera, tripod, of course. Alright, let's see, what else can we work on here while we're waiting for things to dry. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, I doubt that it's going to show up, but what the heck. What I ended up doing with the weather vane that's supposed to be on top, and I think it's actually missing some more other pieces, but that's alright. I actually ended up having to file down the post that was up underneath of it, and then I ended up drilling the hole out and then gluing it back in, so that's taken care of. It's now Thursday, and I was just getting ready to take the camera off the rig here and hook it up to the computer so I can get this video uploaded. I wanted to point out something, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. And that is the fact that when I went in here and I wanted to take care of the light bleed on the interlocking, yeah, I got the inside blackened. The problem was, if you actually look on some of these corners, the black actually bled through on the corners. Not sure if that's, there we go. Other white, there we go. Which isn't a huge problem because I want to paint the outside of this building anyway. As stated numerous times, you don't want to use anything straight out of the box. These things have been painted the same way, or had been the same way since they were put together back in the 50s. So I'm going to take out my artistic frustrations, I guess, for lack of a better term, but to be honest, I'd rather screwed this up, which really in reality isn't screwed up. You know, it's just the fact that the paint came through, but that now tells me that when I go to play with something that I don't want to really, not that I want to mess anything up, but when you're talking about Union Station, that's an expensive kit. You know, you don't want to really mess that up. So, I'm going to be doing that same darkening on the interior of that, as we've talked about before. And of course, there was something that I wanted to show here, and, well, I went ahead and left it on the other side of the camera. Give me a minute. We'll be back. Okay. I did mention that I need to do work on Union Station. Okay, I want to change the color. I need to paint the inside, and I want to change the color of the outside. The issue is the fact that I couldn't remember where I had put the decals for Union Station. I knew I didn't throw them out because I knew it would, if I ever decided to do anything with it, I'd have to go ahead and have them again. Well, I found them. But that is all that's left, which presents a slight problem. I guess I'm going to be taking this from Union Station to Grand Central Station. Or just calling it Central Station. I may just call it Central Station. Or call it Grand Central. I don't know. I'll figure that out once I get finished playing with the building. But that's really all I've got for this week. I was going to try and run some trains. I might still try and do that. I got to see how long this video really is, and we'll go from there. So this is going to conclude episode 17. You all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We'll see ya.